depending on whatever child you are in my house, male or female, you will learn to cook, you will learn to do chores, you will learn to clean your room. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, Bemi here. Today guys, from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I don't let my kids do, or I won't be letting my kids do. And I'm sure some of you guys are already like, hold up, wait a minute, you have just one kid, yes? And she's like, what, 1 year and a few months, yes? But I plan to have more kids, and this is just what I feel is my own style of parenting. I've seen a lot of people come up with this list and post it on Instagram and do videos about it, and I just felt like I should share mine with my own community. There's some of these things that I agree with that people list, and there's some that I don't agree with, which is also the same for my personal list. This is my style, and I feel like some of you may agree with it and some of you may not agree with it. And you know, it's totally fine because we are all raised differently, we think differently, and our kids are also very, very different. You know, no two kids can be the same. You know, we're raised with different cultures, traditions, and different walks of life. So definitely our opinions to life will be very, very different. This is me saying that if I say I'm not doing this and you do it, it doesn't mean that you're a bad mom or anything. Listen, on this channel, on my platform, we don't mom shame, we don't parent shame. Everything is accepted because there are no two ways to do. There's not only one way of doing things. There's several ways of doing things, especially when it comes to parenting and raising kids. So listen, if I talk about something and you're like, well, but I do that, that doesn't mean you're a bad mom or a bad parent. That's what works for you, boo, and stick with it. But yes, this is me sharing my own personal type of parenting, things that I feel like I would not be letting my kids do. I think I'm typically a laid-back mom, or I like to think that I'm a laid-back mom. You know, I allow everything, you know, everything goes. But then I think about it and I'm like, no, not really. I'm not as laid-back as I thought. Typical African mom personality still shows up at times, okay? So anyways, if you know that you're interested in this list of things that I would not be allowing to share, do just keep watching. Okay, so first off, I would not let my kids think that the world is perfect. I would not let my kids think that me, their mom, I'm a perfect mom. I would not let them think that their dad is a perfect dad. We're humans, we're not perfect. We strive for perfection, but we're not perfect. So I'm not going to let them think that, oh, you know, this world that we are in, you know, everything is just perfect. I'm not going to let them think that mommy doesn't make mistakes or daddy doesn't make mistakes, because we all do and we're humans. So when I make mistakes, I'm going to let them know that I made mistake. If it comes for me to apologize, which I know that a lot of our African parents do not do, I will apologize. You know, I would let them know that, you know, mommy was wrong. It was wrong of me to have done this, or I made a mistake doing this, or daddy made a mistake doing this. And if it warrants an apology, if it's something that I did to them, maybe I accuse somebody of doing something they did not do or something like that, I would apologize and I'll be like, mommy is very sorry, daddy is very sorry, so that they understand that these people that they idolize, like a lot of people idolize their parents, or you know, they look up to their parents, are humans, and they are humans, and it's also okay for them to make mistakes. A lot of our African parents are, when I was in your class, I was coming first, I was this, I was that. I would explain to my parents, my children rather, that, you know, I failed too, you know, I failed some courses, some classes, and it's okay for them to fail too. After all, mommy is not a complete failure, you know. My mom was very open to us about those kind of things. She'd be like, oh, when I was in school, this happened, I had to retake this class, I had to retake that class. I didn't grow up with parents that were like, when I was your age, I was passing, I was this. No, my mom would tell us about the mistakes that she made, even relationship wise. Like, she talks about her ex-boyfriend. You know, I know, you know, that kind of thing. So it's not just everything is rosy and, you know, stuff like that. And I'm also going to instill that in my children, that it's not a perfect world. Things happen, you make mistakes, but you rise from it, and you know, you continue about your day. Okay, so another thing is that I don't let my kids watch just anything. I don't let Tisha watch just anything, and I won't be letting our future siblings watch just anything. I actually sit down and watch the cartoons that she watches, so I understand where they're coming from, and just know that they are not impacting my daughter in a negative way, basically. So there's this particular Cocomelon cartoon that I don't like. That's why she hardly watches Cocomelon anymore. The only Cocomelon she watches, I have downloaded them on a tab for her, so I kind of regulate what she watches. There's this particular song that goes, Johnny, Johnny, yes papa, eating sugar, no papa, telling lies, no papa, open your mouth, ah ah ah. and then you're actually eating sugar. So I've thought about it several times, like, where was Cocomelon coming from, or any other cartoon that plays this? Did they think this was going to be a good idea? Like, the child was literally lying and we're all singing it and being jolly about it. You know, I don't let Tisha watch that. Some of the Halloween cartoons that come up from Cocomelon to other kids TV that she watches, I don't let her watch it. So I kind of regulate what she watches. These days she mostly watches Nick Jr., and there are only 3 shows that she watches on that Nick Jr., 3 or 4. Paw Patrol, Adventures of Paddington, Blaze and the Monster Machines, Top Wings, and Blue's Clues. Those are the only things that she watches, and they recycle it because, you know, it's on TV, so they keep playing old episodes over and over again, and I can say I have watched everything, so I kind of regulate what she watches. I'm not going to let my kids be those kids that are heavily dependent on their, you know, their tabs, or collecting mommy's phone. They want to watch it on mommy's phone. No, if I don't give you your tab, you're not watching. You know, go and find something else to do. Let's play in other ways. Let's read to each other. We haven't really had a particular how many hours in a day does she watch TV, because she actually goes to creche, and in our creche class they have a tiny small TV that they hardly watch. And I think when because they have a DVD, and when they play the DVD, it's I don't know if you guys remember from when we were young, Kiddie Sprays. Yes, Kiddie Sprays, Salty, and the rest of them. That's what they play for them. That's when they even turn it on. So I know that the 12 hours that she's getting, not 12 hours, well, the 8 hours she's getting in creche, she's not watching TV. So when she gets home, she can watch a bit before it's bedtime for her to sleep. So I kind of regulate in that way how many hours that she gets to watch TV for. Okay, I will not allow my kids have an unhealthy relationship with food. I think that is very important in this age and day and time. We growing up, our parents didn't really do much when it came to having a relationship with food. It was basically like whatever everybody was eating, you eat it like that. It wasn't like they were like, oh, eat more vegetables. Well, like me, my parents were not, oh, eat more vegetables. Than no. So I grew up with having a very unhealthy relationship to food, which I'm trying to break now, you know, but it's very, very hard because of that foundation that I did not have. So basically, Tisha eats a lot of fruits. I'm so happy about that. She hardly drinks soda. She hardly drinks fizzy drinks. She hardly drinks juices, and I'm so happy about that. I'm just going to continue with that. So she eats a lot of fruit, she eats a lot of vegetables, and I like that for her. She eats carbs here and there, you know, because that's what she actually needs for strength and everything. But I'm not going to let my kids have an unhealthy relationship with food. She doesn't munch on biscuits. She doesn't even like them. She doesn't like cookies, which I'm very happy about. She has given us a very solid foundation for us to start with, and we're just going to continue from there. I want her to have I've been saying it even when I was pregnant of her. I used to tell her dad, I was like, no, Tisha must have a very good, healthy eating habit, basically. Okay, so I don't know if I'm still going to have another daughter in the future, but I already have a daughter now. One of the things I am not going to let my daughters do, and even if I have a son, is things like paint their nails. I don't know. I just feel like painting their nails is such a teenage thing to do. It's such an adult thing to do. And I know it's kind of cool seeing kids with different pinks on their nails and blues on their nails, but I don't really fancy it. And I just think that there's time for everything. Growing up, I used to want to do those things, not as a child, but as a teenager, and you know, that was kind of understandable. But as children, I just feel like I might be introducing her, or if she has another sister, to the wrong things at a very early age. So things like painting their nails, things like buying makeup for her as a child, I don't subscribe to it personally. I see other kids do these things, and honestly, I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to say, oh, my kid is not going to play with your kids because they have painted their nails or they are wearing makeup. No, like that. I'm not going to do that. But personally, I'm just not going to be that kind of parent. I just feel like there's time for everything, and I just think that as a child, that's not the time for that. Adding to it, would also be like the kind of outfits that I would dress her in. I prefer to just dress her in regular kids clothing, you know. Like I said before, I'm not so choosy on colors. She can wear pinks, blues, greens, grays, blacks, red. I'm not choosy on colors. Whatever unisex works fine for her. But then there's some outfits like bikini top type, bra type, shorts, like I don't know, I just feel like I don't want my kids to grow up so fast, you know, and I just think that the world is becoming something else these days, that I just want my kids to remain kids, basically. So I'm not going to be letting them do that, you know. I know God will help me. They will not fight me so much on things like that, but I'm not going to let them do that. Another thing is that I'm not going to let my kids think that my husband and I have a perfect marriage. So I've heard people say, oh, we don't fight in front of the kids, we don't argue in front of the kids, we don't even kiss ourselves in front of the kids. Yeah, but it's not like my husband and I are going to carry hammer and dagger and be hitting ourselves, God forbid, you know. But there's times that Toye and I have disagreements on things, and Tisha is there and we talk about it, because I want her to understand that yes, you can have disagreement, and then you can also resolve that disagreement. So she's also there when we're like coming to a compromise or we're resolving it. So she understands that you know, it's not just that, oh, mommy and daddy are always fighting, and she never sees where you people, you know, people that go and what do you call it, have makeup sex and stuff, and she doesn't see where the making up is, you know, coming from, you know. But we argue, not loudly, you know, but we argue and we have disagreements and then we resolve it. So she sees that you can have disagreements and you can also you know, resolve it. And you know, sometimes our dad is trying to be jiggy with me, you know, like just rubbing my butt or rubbing my back, and she's there and she comes and she's smiling like our dad always says it now, that anytime Tisha sees her dad with me trying to like, oh, love up on me, she will just run and come and meet me. And we do it in front of her also, like just not the sex part, but you know, just loving up on each other, just so that she can see that, oh yeah, this is what actually happens in a marriage and in a relationship and stuff like that. So another thing that I would not be letting my kids do is they're not going to be having every coolest, newest gadgets that Apple or Samsung or any other brand has to offer. Like, you're not going to be having the latest iPad, you're not going to be having the latest whatever. Like, if you already have an iPad, you're gonna use it. Like, you know, I'm not going to be buying new items for you, and then don't come at me and say things like, oh, but Toby's mom bought it for Toby. I'm not Toby's mom, I'm Tisha's mom. So please don't come and, you know, tell me things like that. So I'm going to try as much as possible. I know kids can be very pushy and manipulative, but God helping me, I'm going to try as much as possible to let them understand that it's not everything that it's not every new thing that comes out that you have to use money to buy, you know. Also teaching them the power of spending and buying things and all that. Like, you need to have some savings and all that. So they just need to understand that it's not every new thing that comes out that mommy is going to use her money to buy. Shikena. Okay, so another thing I'm not going to let my kids do is be spoiled. You know, I hear things like people say, oh, kids are just being kids. Kids are just going to be kids. Well, kids are going to get disciplined. Kids are gonna get disciplined, you know, because people think that this discipline, I probably should make a whole separate video on it, because I feel like discipline is such a strong word and people think it's like a lot of things, you know, happening when it comes to discipline, you know. But then there are things like timeout, there are lots of privileges on some of the things that you like, and depending on the magnitude of that thing that you did, some spanking can even be added to it, you know. So my kids are not going to be spoiled. At the same time, they're not going to be abused. Yes, my kids are not going to be spoiled. And at the same time, I'm not going to let them be abused. So I'm going to discipline them. You know, it's important for you to discipline kids. Now, your own definition of discipline might be very, very different. But like I said, there's timeout, there's lots of privileges, and spanking from time to time, depending on the magnitude of what you have done, and you understand the consequences of what you did, and we can talk about it so that such things do not repeat itself in the future. You know, sit down and talk about it so that you understand the reason why you're getting disciplined for this, and it's not going to repeat itself in the future. Okay, so another thing is that I'm not going to allow my kids to be lazy. Yes, you're not going to be lazy. You're going to do chores. You're going to help people out when it comes to doing things around the house, when it comes to doing things in general. You know, you see somebody needing help, you have to help them. That is the way I am trying to raise my kids. That's the way I'm trying to parent. So even from now on, she already understands small chores. She's not yet two, but she understands little chores. You know, when she spills something on the floor, I can take like a towel and put it on the floor and tell her to just, you know, put her leg on it and, you know, just rub the, you know, try to gather the spill that she spilled on the floor. So she's already understanding that. She already knows when she spills something or when something pours on the floor, she knows to get a towel. Like, she already knows little things like that. Do you understand? So yes, my kids are going to do chores. You're going to pick up after yourself. I'm not going to clean your room for you. When it gets a certain age, there are some people that are grown men, they cannot clean their rooms by themselves, they can't lay their beds, they cannot cook. Depending on whatever child you are in my house, male or female, you will learn to cook, you will learn to do chores, you will learn to clean your room, you will learn to fold your clothes, you will learn to wash your clothes, you will learn to iron, you will learn to sweep, you will learn to clean. Mommy is not going to do it for you because it is very beneficial to your life growing up. And I'm glad that I'm making this video because they can always go back to this video when they're older. They can come and watch mommy talk about these things and explain why mommy is doing what she's doing, you know, right now. Exactly. So yeah, basically, they are not going to be lazy. I'm going to try as much as possible, and God helping me to teach them how to do their chores, and they will get it done. Okay, so the last but not the least thing I'm going to be talking about today is I would not allow my kids to show affection to strangers. Let me explain what I mean. Not even strangers, even family members. So you know when somebody comes to visit you, and or maybe they just see you on the road and like, Tisha, come and give me a hug. Now, at the stage that my daughter is in, she looks at me first. And then, you know, if it's like a grandmom, like my mom or my husband's mom, I'll be like, or my grandparents, you know, I'll be like, go move towards grandma, give her a hug, give her a kiss, you know, something like that. I urge her on. But then if it's anybody else outside the people I just mentioned and my husband and I, no. It is left to her to decide if she wants to give you a hug or a kiss. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because the world is crazy right now. This life that we are living, man, it is crazy. So I'm going to let my daughter decide by herself if she wants to give you a hug or if she wants to give you a kiss. And if she does not want to give you a hug or a kiss, that's all nice and dandy. Even as far as high five, there are some artisans that come to the house to do things for us, and they're like, Tisha, high five. If today she can give this person high five, tomorrow she can decide she's not giving him a high five, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to pressure her or pressure my kids into showing people affection. We can sit down and talk about it. I can ask her later, oh, why didn't you give Uncle so and so a high five? Why didn't you give Auntie so and so a hug? And she could be like, oh, I did not feel like. That's absolutely fine. That's your emotion. That's what you feel like doing at that time. Because these days are evil, man. You know, she will learn to be respectful. She would greet good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, good whatever, everything that they are greeting. Yes, hi, hello, what's up? But she's going to have to decide by herself if she wants to give a person affection or show someone affection or not. Okay, it's left to her. So yes, guys, so those are the things that I wanted to talk about. Those are the things that I would not be letting my kids do. I don't know what you guys were expecting. Maybe you guys were expecting me to say I will not let them to swim, or I will not let them to take public transport. I don't know if that's what you guys were expecting, but these were the things that I felt were important to talk about and start a conversation about, and let you guys know. So what do you guys think? What are the things that you will not be letting your kids do as a parent, as an African parent, especially? Yeah, just let me know what you think about the whole situation. I feel like I will maybe do a part 2 of the things that I will be letting my kids do. I don't know if you guys think that would be fun to do. Let me know. Leave it in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found yourself liking it, leave a thumbs up, share with everybody that you know, subscribe to my channel please, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
I can't let you go, baby. I just wanna tell you that no, yeah. All of my friends say